Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Out here in Washington State, it is record level mockery. Something I've talked about for a long time. Controlled weather, rig sports, rituals coming together. Of course, Vice News wrote their hit piece on me for exposing this back in 2017. You know, we're coming up on 10 years old since they wrote that article. We'll go back and revisit that. But look at this. After 6 rivers flood around Seattle, causing massive devastation, no doubt everyone's insurance is going to be going up even more. I'm out here in Washington State. Philip Rivers re-signed, big story this week, will be playing in Seattle 6 days after his December 8th birthday. 6 rivers flood, and Philip Rivers going to play in Seattle after being out of the NFL for a long time, 6 days after his birthday. And I've also talked about this link with the Colts and Seahawks many a times before because they've done a lot of different rituals with them over the years. For people who don't know, the Miami Seahawks, an old football franchise, folded and became the Baltimore Colts in 1947. Obviously, the Baltimore Colts are now the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Irsay moved them there in 84. Notice the Colts fell to 8-4 the other week after his death. Poor Jim Irsay died 106 days before the 106th season began. But yeah, now the Colts coming to play the Seahawks with this ritual. And it's also important that Philip Rivers is 44 years old. That is a special number in this Kabbalistic practice of encoding numbers into words. And keep in mind, this flooding that just happened in the Seattle area happened 44 days after Bill Gates' birthday, Mr. Climate Change. So notice, in Gematria, Seattle equates to 44 like rivers, like military, like HARP. And of course, HARP, the military technology that can influence the weather, its patent date was a date with 44 numerology. If you're looking at this and going, well, you added up those words different ways, you're right. But these are the 3 of the 4 base ciphers of the English language. Again, they're all based on the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26 is the most simple cipher. That's where HARP is 44. The alphabetic order with numerology applied to each letter, that's where military is 44. You can see M is 4. That's because M is the 13th letter of the alphabetic order. The numerology of 13 is 1 plus 3 is 4. I is the 9th letter. L is the 12th. 1 plus 2 is 3, so on and so forth. And then the last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order with numerology applied to each letter. Seattle and Rivers both equal 44 in that cipher. Again, this happened 44 days after Bill Gates' October 28th birthday. He turned 70 this year. Climate change equals 70 with that same reverse cipher. But remember, Indianapolis is also the only 201 city in America. And the first act of weather warfare was admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday. Keep in mind, William Henry Gates, Bill Gates' full name is also 201, like he was the co-host of Event 201, the Cooties 19 simulation right before that popped off. But notice how weather control and the Jesuit order overlap in the base cipher system and how Indianapolis and weather control overlap. And don't forget, Jim Irsay's birthday was June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. The owner who died 106 days before the 106th season began. Seattle having a great year this year. Seattle, WA is 106, like how you'd write it on an envelope. Jewish rapper out of Seattle did a song called $106 about a year back. But, yeah, Philip Rivers just turned 44. And literally December 14th, the day of the game, 6 days after 6 rivers flood. I mean, just total mockery. Total mockery. So, that said, let's take it from the top. Let's look at the rest of this ritual. Let's look at the rest of this ritual here. All these red squigglies are where all the devastating flooding happened. You can see Seattle's here, all these outlying communities. For people not familiar, you know, Tacoma is about, you know, by the way, the bird flies over 30 miles south. So 30 miles south of the city, 50 miles east, 70, 80 miles northeast, all this flooding. And I live east of the mountains in Washington. We had 26 straight hours of insane wind that just did not let up. It was like literally being inside a blow dryer because the wind was very warm too. So they brought all this warm air in and then hit that cold, moist front that Seattle always has because it's on the Sound. And clearly that contributed to this rain disaster. But the wind doesn't just blow for just nonstop for 26 hours without letting up. That is not natural. And again, I'd encourage everybody to look into the 90s military document, Owning the Weather by 2025. Here we are at the end of the year. A year that began with a major flood on the nation's birthday, as we covered then, and what it had to do with Lyndon Johnson and him talking about the future of weather control and who controls the weather controls the world, and how he said there'd be a weather satellite someday to control the world. And didn't Hollywood put out a movie about that about a decade back with Gerard Butler? But weather satellite literally equals 249 on the 249th birthday of the nation, not far from where Lyndon Johnson's from. That town got wiped out in Texas. Covered that. But here, let's go through the whole ritual here. Notice how flood and 6 have this overlap of 52 and 20. And the flooding happened on December 11th, the day leaving 20 days left in the year. So what a day for the flood. 6 rivers, right? And the new governor of Washington is Bob Ferguson. He was the figurehead yesterday all over the TV. Bob Ferguson, 52. If you're new here, I wrote a book about flooding and weather control in 52 in 2017. That was the same year Vice News did their hit piece on me, making fun of my research on 52 and how rigged floods are synced up with rigged sports. We'll revisit that. But yeah, Bob Ferguson's the governor. And this flood, it came 74 days before his upcoming birthday, which is the 52nd composite number. The hardest hit area was Snohomish County, which equals 74. Remember, it was July 4th that this nation, celebrated its birthday, even though it shouldn't be celebrated on that day. Remember, Independence Day equals 74 like holiday. That's why we celebrated that day, because we declared independence on July 2nd. But never mind, it didn't fit the gematria, so we got to move it to 7-4. And again, in the base ciphers, flood, Enlil, earth. They have this overlap. Enlil is the Babylonian god of storms. This practice of coding numbers into words comes from Kabbalah, which also equals 52. And it goes back to Babylon. But you can see the overlap with flood, Enlil, and earth. You can see that flood's also 20, like this happened on the day leaving 20 days left in the year. With regards to the 83, Genesis 8:3 is where the biblical flood ends after 150 days. The Skagit River that got some of the worst of it is 150 miles long, funny enough. And they also said that the Nooksack River crested at 150 feet. So 2 of the 6 rivers had the 150 connection. Just go figure, right? Go figure. Remember when the Texas town got wiped out, it was 83 days from the birthday anniversary of the man the town was named after, not to mention the area code was the 803. Last night when we were covering this, we noticed how the CNN article on this was posted at 8:03 p.m. They had to post at 8:03 about the flooding in Washington. See this stuff all the time if you pay attention. And this did happen 30 days after the state's birthday. Like I've always said, this practice of coding numbers into words comes from goes back to Babylon, but it's also very much associated with the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis 8:3, the first book. Notice 30 days after the state's birthday, this happens. Bible 30, right? And rain also has the 30 connection, as well as 42, like Washington is the 42nd state, and it's a state known for its rainfall. Really, though, that's just west of the mountains. East of the mountains is pretty dry. And in the base ciphers, rain is 42, 24, or in the time of the 24th governor, and this happened in his 42nd week of his age. Rain is 66 in reverse. That's the 11th triangular number, like it happened on the 11th of December, the flood. And rain is 30, like 30 days after the state's birthday. The surname of the governor is also 42. This is the first year he took office. And then George Washington, we're right before his death anniversary. The game where Rivers comes to town is literally going to be on George Washington's death anniversary at 67. Remember, he died with the Jesuit priest by his side, and that Jesuit priest ended up dying in a 201 ritual. But in light of George Washington dying at 67, water is 67. And from Bob Ferguson's first day in office to this flood was the 331st day of being in office, which is the 67th prime number. A lot of water. And again, we've been demonstrating this I've been showing this kind of stuff since I learned about this in 2013. I was living in Snohomish County when I first learned about this, living in Bothell. But shortly after learning about it, I just started to realize right away, like, wait a minute, what's the same patterns? What's the same numbers in like natural disasters, celebrity deaths, rigged sports games? Same things, just over and over. Look how perfect this is. And it's always been synced with the leadership of the state when these things happen. Always. I mean, this couldn't be any more perfect. His birthday is February 23rd, 223. Remember, natural disaster equals 223. High frequency active auroral research program, that's HARP, 223. Flash flooding, 223. HARP's patent date is the 223rd day of the year, August 11th. August 11th, the 223rd day of the year. HARP's patent date, 44 numerology. HARP, military, both 44. This ritual with 44-year-old Philip Rivers. George Washington, his death it will be 226 years on December 14th. So that means we're at 225 years and change, right? We're at 225 years and change. Notice Western Washington, how they refer to the region for the floods. It is a big chunk of Western Washington. The uppermost half of Western Washington is essentially underwater, and just like Year of the Snake. And remember, the whole Charlie Kirk ritual was foretold in the movie Snake Eyes about the character Donald Trump, who's behind the assassination of Charles Kirkland. But the Charlie Kirk thing was on the 225th day of the Year of the Snake. Snake Eyes. Nicolas Cage in that movie, who's in Knowing about, finding the number code that foretells the future before it happens. He's also in National Treasure about the Masons and all their little secret things. Remember, Masonry is based in Kabbalah. Masonry, modern Freemasonry, created by Jesuit priests. But yeah, from Bill Gates' birthday to this ritual, 44 days. He turned 70. Remember, on his 70th birthday, he was saying that climate change isn't as big of a deal as he'd been harping on about. Snohomish County in reverse is also 70, the hardest hit area. And again, about all things being sync with the Pope. Again, the first act of weather warfare on the Jesuit order's birthday. Bill's ex, Melinda, from a family of Jesuit priests, her birthday, August 15th, just like the Jesuit order. But yeah, this happened on the 218th day of the Pope's age, the first American Pope, Snohomish County 218. He's the Chicago Pope. Remember, Pope Francis died on the 312th day of Trump's age. Then we got the Pope from the 312 Chicago, and now we get to see the ritual with Charlie Kirk from Chicago, and now Nick Fuentes, two annoying twerps from Chicago. But yeah, Snohomish County also 218, like Holy Roman Empire, like Turning Point USA. The assassin was in court by the numbers on this same day, right? Holy Roman Empire and George Washington have a lot in common, as does Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA actually has all four of the same values. Yesterday was 88 days after the Pope's birthday as well. George Washington, who the state's named after, 88, right before his death anniversary. Keep in mind the word poison equals 88. That's likely what happened to George Washington. Poison and arsenic poison equal 88. The Jesuits are known for killing people with arsenic poisoning. And remember, Georgetown, the first Jesuit university, was established a few months before George Washington. He served his purpose. Now they need his soul. But yeah, the Pope, the Pope's 52 and 25 like flood. And the first act of weather warfare in 52 on August 15th, the Jesuit order's birthday, a little before Melinda Gates was born, even a few years before Bill was born. But yeah, Philip Rivers was previously on a $25 million contract with the Colts before they've now brought him back. And notice the Colts road record, 2-4. So what happens if they lose? 2-5, right? And the Seahawks are 4-2 at home. So if they win, they're 5-2, 2-5, 5-2, like Flood's 25 and 52. Again, Philip Rivers just turned 44. 6 days before the game after 6 Rivers flood. Again, one more time, Seattle Rivers, military, HARP. You know, about the only pattern I've talked about more with this knowledge than weather warfare is the race code and just the same old racist crap they do to black men. And look at this Sharon Moore thing. I did a stream on this earlier, but now there's an update, right, of him being in jail and in court through the video screen. Again, today's the 346th day of the year that he gets the charges by the numbers. His full name's 346. But you see how he's in Washtenaw County? You see this? Washtenaw County? 5976, like slave, Negro, blues, Rasta, like how Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year and the feds recognized it as a thing in 76, like how Barack Obama equals 76 and he announced he was running for president on literally the anniversary of Black History Month being created by the federal government, February 10th, which can be written 10-2, like slavery's 102, like how he got fired and arrested 102 days after Michigan's first game. Obama's Secret Service name, Renegade 59, Ephesians 6, verses 5 through 9, slaves obey your masters. O.J. Simpson dead after Super Bowl 59 at age 76 as the Masters tees off. George Foreman dead at 76, who won 76 fights when years earlier his sister, or not his sister, but his daughter died 59 days after his birthday. Bad Boy Records 59 and 76. 50 Cent, born on 7-6, puts out the movie about Puffy on 59 date numerology. Puffy set to get out of prison at age 59. On and 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 on. And again, these numbers are from the Bible. Acts 7-6, about 400 years of slavery. That movie Obama produced, Leave the World Behind, all full of 76s. The tribute to the first slave ship that arrived in America, setting off the 400 years in America. And don't forget, Acts is the 44th book of the Bible, like Obama was number 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. And don't forget, George Foreman died in Houston, and he won 76 fights and fought in 81. And the very next day, Houston won the March Madness game, 81-76, picking up their 42nd win in the tournament when Big George equals 42, like the N-word, like slavery, like Tuskegee, like a million other things connected to Black history, including February. But yeah, it's just, I mean, day after day, the exact same thing. And I don't know how this work was very viral, you know, almost a decade ago. And now it's at a point ever since Kobe died where nobody cares about it. And Kobe was probably the most viral moment for this knowledge. But ever since Kobe's death, this work doesn't get any traction. It doesn't get any views. You would think it would be the biggest thing amongst English speakers at this point. And here, just about all the 52 stuff with the flood, let's just go back to this hit piece from Vice News. Wacko YouTuber proves World Series was rigged. We've called about 1 million World Series now, including another one and another one and another one and another one since this. But yeah, I just want to go back to this paragraph right here. This video comes courtesy of a guy named Zachary K. Hubbard, that's yours truly, and he is convinced that everything is rigged. News, politics, the weather, sports, everything. Isn't that just a lame sentence? Are news, politics, the weather, and sports everything? Or are those things that people are largely obsessed with that are covered on TV on a daily basis? Nobody said everything's rigged. Getting down to the brass tacks, Hubbard posits that Astros World Series victory was foretold by Matt Harvey's start in Houston, which just so happened to be the first start after the Houston area was devastated by Hurricane Harvey. That start, coincidentally, was 52 days before the start of the World Series. Doesn't this just sound so similar? Now it's Rivers 6 days after his birthday, after 6 rivers flood, where the records can become 2-5 and 5-2 for the away and home while he was on a $25 million contract. And here we are at the end of 2025. It's just, yeah, and then he was making fun of how the game ended on the 52nd pitch of Charlie Morton. You should see the rituals they've done with Charlie Morton since. It didn't stop there. Oh, yeah, and then they got this other quote. The reason that matters is because the word flood in gematria equals 52. Houston flooded on a date with 52 numerology on August 27th, which was the 239th day, which is the 52nd prime. Don't forget how we use that same number combination to tell you what Super Bowl 52 was going to be on September 23rd when Trump took on the protesters of the flag, which was sold in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street, while the flag was 239 years old and Trump has the same birthday as the flag. Funny enough, the Super Bowl will be 239 days after Trump's birthday this year. Did you hear what he just said in Philadelphia? 61 days before the Super Bowl when Philadelphia equals 61. It was just a couple days ago. Yeah, also, Stevie Ray Vaughan, his best-selling album was Texas Flood, and that flood just happened to happen on his death anniversary. Also highly suspicious. But anyway, I mean, let me know why you think this is a coincidence for all the coincidence theorists out there, because in my time, I've learned that seems to be the majority of the populace. Phillip Rivers coming to Seattle after 6 rivers floods 6 days after his birthday, and just never mind the 44-year-old piece and where that fits in. Never mind that part. But yeah, the link is out there for anybody who wants to join. The link is out there if you want to add to this conversation, if you got questions, if you have additional details, if you're a coincidence theorist. The link is out there. And how did the time go by so fast already? I guess I don't have that much time. Jeez. I thought it was earlier in the day. I lost track of time. That is true. Washington crossed the Delaware. That's right. Washington went across a river. Yeah, we talked about how it's on George Washington's death anniversary. But you're right. George Washington did cross the Delaware. What day did that happen in history? What day did George Washington cross the Delaware? Yeah, you're right. That's part of the joke. Oh, so we're coming up on that anniversary. He did it on Christmas. I must have been cold. Jeez. Is this even real? 13 years later, he's the president, huh? 1789. I don't believe a word of history, man. These guys really crossed a river in the freezing cold. They didn't all get hypothermia. That sounds like some stuff for the his storybooks. Well, we got King Richard. Okay. King Richard, one of the only people down for the cause. What's up, King Richard?
What's up? What's up, Zach? I'm a coincidence theorist, man. I think everything's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. But do you mind if I share my screen real quick? I'm working on a post myself, but do you mind if I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me do that real quick. There we go. Can you see it?
Just for the record, you guys, that December 11th would be 15 days before the final anniversary crossing the river. Like, this is NFL Week 15. I'm sure that's not a coincidence. Last night, we had the two 15 cities to kick off the week. Atlanta and Tampa both equal 15. The 8th composite, Pitts with 3 touchdowns. Congrats to the winners. Here, let me get it up here, Rich.
All right, for sure. Yeah, I'm working on the death of a supposed surgery addicted social media star. She died at age 33, and her name happens to just be the name of the woman in the Bible, Mary Magdalene. And supposedly she dies at age 33, like how Jesus Christ died at 33. And she died in Thailand, which equals 33. She was Mexican. Mexican equals 33. Mexico also equals 33, like Bible.
The Mexican-American War ended on the 33rd day of the year, February 2nd.
Yeah,
the whole
February
thing they did
2nd.
earlier this year with the National Guard for the first time in 33 years in LA with the Mexican flags everywhere in tribute to the Rodney King beating on 3/3, et cetera, et cetera. This isn't the topic, though, but okay, go ahead.
For sure. Her name does equal 129. She dies on December 9, 12/9, and that's the 201st, or that's 201 in base 8 counting, and the Holy Bible and the Jesuit order equal 201. I'm finishing up this post, but yeah, just news by the numbers. But yeah, I just get tired of all these morons, man. They think everything's a coincidence. They think, it's just like I was saying yesterday, man. Just all these people think it's a coincidence. I mean, what are the odds, right? 44-year-old. Again, Phillip or Rivers equals 44, correct? Like Seattle. I think you froze. Hold on, I'll be right back. I think you froze. Hold on.
Well, something went wrong there. We got Cornell. What's up, Cornell?
Hey, I have a thing with the Ducks. I know it's off topic, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. If that's okay.
You should join Patreon. We've been talking about the Ducks. So
Okay, I think I joined your Patreon, but I've had problems kind of linking to it, so I got to look at it again. So do you think the Ducks are going to win it all with the numbers?
Like
Or
I
is that
said, man,
something I need?
you should join Patreon.
Okay. All right, I will jump on there. Can I talk directly on Patreon with you on that?
We talked about it again today on today's stream. You should just go watch what we said on Patreon. I mean, I've talked about like 3 straight days in a row. So,
Okay, cool. I'll go on there.
all right. This person said, could I call and ask your opinion on something? Well, there's a link to join the stream. So, I mean, you didn't even have to send $5. You could have just clicked the link and joined the stream. Yeah, you better do it now, though, because I got to leave here pretty quick. And thank you again, Leper Messiah. He always tries to motivate the troops. I appreciate it. Decoding with Cody says December 14th will be 1,789 days after Rivers retired. And yeah, of course, Washington became president in 1789. I mean, you guys, it's too much. And consider that the majority of Philip Rivers' career was in San Diego, massive military base, the biggest military port on the West Coast. It's, man, people are just, this country, man, the people are out of their mind. People are like cheering on that we did the pirate thing with the Venezuelan oil ship. It's just, people are out of their mind. I got to confirm this, though. That's a good find. What day did Philip Rivers retire? Oh, he retired on the 201st day of the nation's age. Okay, that's fitting. 20/1, the new inauguration day, thanks to the Jesuits. Hold up. Back in the height of cooties, 19. Yeah, you can just see it already, man. Look at that. The year Georgetown was established, the year George Washington became the president. And like we say, man, it's again, controlled weather, rig sports, tributes to history all day, every day. That's what these people do. Dummies can't get it. And look how bad the viewership is, man. Stream it on 2 channels and we barely got 200 people in here. We're cooked. We're cooked. Let's see. I saw that while King Richard was on here, we had something where we dropped out, but we came back. I thought we'd been back since then. In case you missed it, yeah, Decoding with Cody pointed out that, and we just confirmed that that's true, from Philip Rivers' retirement on the 201st day of the nation's age to his return, 1,789 days. It'll be 15 days from the anniversary of Washington crossing the Delaware. The flood was, like, it's NFL week 15. Not to mention Colts equals 15, too. Coming back with the Colts. 15 is like a big Illuminati number. The Illuminati founded on the first day of the 5th month by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Plans to infiltrate Freemasonry. Skull and Bones, modeled after the Illuminati, allows 15 new members per year. But yeah, that's a wild find about the 1789. Here, let's see where Philip Rivers went to school real quick. Curious where he went to school. Let's see. North Carolina State University and Athens High School. Is that? Looks like it's in Alabama. Athens, Alabama. Huh. I don't know what to say about that right now. What's up, Hot Hand Dave?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Real quick, you spoke of the 225. That's 15 squared.
Oh, the square root of 15. Yeah, you're right. Perfect for week 15.
It's also Baton Rouge's area code. I don't know if there's something linked to Baton Rouge or Louisiana with all this. But just a thought.
Yeah, well, I got an idea. Super Bowl 44 won by the Saints over Archie Manning's son, who was lofting those free picks into the secondary, and after their return from the flooding of Katrina.
Okay, yeah, with all that 225 this week, I just decided to point that out.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is right there next to New Orleans. So,
And then you got
were the Saints playing up in Baton Rouge while their stadium? Where did they play during after Katrina?
in Baton Rouge, I think.
Yeah, I think they did.
And then you got all this Lane Kiffin crap that's going on at LSU.
They did
And
play.
Joe Burrow.
They did play in Baton Rouge. Yeah, they were playing in the 225. Interesting. Yeah, Lane Kiffin stuff. What just happened to Kelvin Falk, whose daughter, he played for the Patriots and went to
That's
LSU.
right, Kevin Falk. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, to start week 15, 15 squared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out.
All right. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, good one.
Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dave. For the other person in the back, Jose Garcia, maybe it's hard to see because it's small. You have to allow access to your mic. You got to grant that access, otherwise I can't bring you on. It doesn't allow me to unless you should be getting asked a question. Allow access to mic. You don't have to give access to your camera unless you want to, but just to your mic. Otherwise, I can't bring you up. And you guys, I got to leave here in a minute or two to go pick up my daughter. I thought I don't know where the time went today. God, there's just 9 hours in a day. All right, here he got it figured out. Hey, what's up? Are you spelling Jose a funny way? What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
Jose
yeah.
with an H?
Yeah. I was wondering if you were gonna hop on a video with Waters Above. He was giving you some flowers the other day.
About what?
He said that you were a big reason for how he learned decoding.
Well, yeah. I don't know what he wants to talk about.
I mean, likely just decoding. He's more centered around the stock market and crypto and stuff, but
Right. Yeah.
it all connects very very well.
Yeah. Again, he learned from me how the market and crypto is rigged this way. Yeah. I mean, everybody learned from me to be fair. Nobody was doing this before yours truly came around. So.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Yeah, he's been able to avoid censorship. He hasn't been deleted a single time, which is curious because almost all of us who've ever done this work have been deleted multiple times. So, yeah. Anyway, if we don't have anybody else, I think we'll leave it there. But yeah, I'll give you a badge for that find there, Decoding, because that just puts the cherry on top about how historical this little ritual is. And it's just maddening that nobody knows what's going on. Nobody seems to care. Everyone think everything's a conspiracy theory when it's really right in front of your face. I mean, look at the tic-tac-toe patterns in the sky every day. Not to mention one of the biggest advocates for cloud seeding is Bill Gates. And something that's real interesting about Seattle and the phrase cloud seeding, since Bill Gates is Mr. Seattle, is Seattle's the 206 area code, like how in the only rigged Super Bowl they won, there were 206 passing yards for Russell Wilson, but cloud seeding is also 206. And, don't forget that was the 94th NBA, or not NBA, but NFL season. Seattle, Washington, 94. They beat Denver that year. Russell Wilson's grandpa died at 94. This happened after, Bill and Melinda became celebrities in 94 after their marriage on January 1st, 94, et cetera, et cetera. All right, I got to add in that little tidbit about George Washington in my post. And if you guys ever want to go back and revisit these posts, they're just at my website. I keep them all archived here. So, GematriaEffect.News. And I did put out a short video on the black box thing for cooties. Today's the anniversary of cooties making the news 6 years ago. Stand 6 feet apart. Caskets go 6 feet deep. Black box says you might die. It's all one sick joke. Don't forget who told you about the sick joke before any of it unfolded. Right on the streets of America, letting people know what's up. We were out there in the pouring rain and the freezing cold in Seattle, March 13th, 2020, in front of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Yeah, and the whole thing with Sharon Moore, I covered that earlier too. Another sick ritual. Same old shaman. All right, hold on. One more person wants to get in here real quick. What's up, Edgar?
Hey, Zach. What's going on?
Yeah, what's
I
up,
just
man?
want to say, hey, I'm glad you're still doing what you're doing. I've been following you since 2017. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to point out just real quick. So the Philadelphia Eagles are playing against the Raiders in Week 15, and the Eagles went to their first Super Bowl in Super Bowl 15 against the Raiders.
Exactly. That's why they have that matchup this week. Hurts' next
Yep.
win is 61, like Philadelphia and Las Vegas Raiders both equal 61. And you might recall
Yep,
when they played
61.
Las Vegas, Randall Cunningham was the team chaplain, and his child died in the hot tub in Vegas. So anyway.
Yep, and Kenny Pickett wears number 15.
Is he playing this week?
Yep. I just saw it. He's going to be starting with the Raiders.
Instead of
And Pete
Geno Smith.
Carroll.
Okay, so yeah, number 15 comes in week 15. Nothing but rituals by the numbers. It's just like how Shadur Sanders comes in week 12, and now he's 1-2. We had him to get upset last week by the Titans. So it's a joke, man. It's a joke. People don't see it.
Yeah, I got my eyes. As far as the Super Bowl, I got my eyes on the Patriots and the Broncos so far.
Okay. We've been talking about what we think on Patreon. We thought they've dropped some pretty big clues here recently.
Yep. And I just wanted to shout that out. Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. Take care.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right. Let me just get this in here so I don't forget to do it. From Philip Rivers' retirement to the game, which is on George Washington's death anniversary, who became president in 1789. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. Same year the first Jesuit university was established. Well, that's in the United States of America. Jesuits were already in Europe, but over in the U.S. George Washington and Georgetown. Oh, my goodness. Do you remember years ago, what car company insurance commercial was that where they kept doing that thing of making fun of George Washington crossing the Delaware? They must have played that commercial a bazillion times that NFL season. And, you know, about the Saints returning to New Orleans and winning the first Super Bowl for the Saints franchise. Again, that was Archie Manning's team, the Saints. Who did they beat? They beat the Colts. Come on, man. This stuff is... And you see, the thing about Seattle and the Saints is they have this 1982-44 connection. See how Seattle's 82-19-44, just like Saints? Remember... Cooties has the 82 connection too. The first coach with Cooties was Sean Payton, who was the Saints coach, and Cooties showed up in Seattle, and you know this company made a whole bunch of money off it, and they got the 82 connection as well. But the coach right now at the Saints is from Washington State. He's from Prosser, where I live right now, the town that got wind blasted as they were doing whatever they had to do in the skies to set up this magnificent rain. And by the way, they set, you see how fire equals 25, like flood? There's been plenty of both in 2025. Start off with the fire in LA. On the 25th day of Kellen Moore's age, they set this town on fire, Prosser. 4 fires in the town that day, including a fire at his old high school where he went to, the Prosser Mustangs. Remember, he got his first win this year, the week that all the horse teams won, including the Colts. Broncos had a big blowout that week, but I think both the Broncos and Colts blew out their opponents that way. Prosser, this town, it's all horses. Everything's horses everywhere. Everything's Mustangs, horse statues everywhere. That last game that week was Jacksonville hosting, and they won. That was on Trevor Lawrence's birthday, and he got the 2 rushing touchdowns to get to 16 for his career for 100-1 payout, which we had. And if you look it up, Jacksonville, named after Andrew Jackson. He was into racing horses, and his number one racing horse was named Duke. Just like how Daniel Jones, who's now hurt, which is why Phillip Rivers is in, he went to Duke. And remember, if you guys missed this, you see how Duke University equals 203? The CEO of Lucas Oil Stadium died right before Daniel Jones went to the Colts, and he died 203 days after his birthday. And, Duke's won several championships in Lucas Oil Stadium. You see how Lucas Oil Stadium is 226? You see how Duke Blue Devils is 226? Try measuring from the Duke coach's birthday, John Shire, to the championship date for March Madness. You'll see it's on the 226th day of his age. Duke Blue Devils is also 53 like Lucas Oil Stadium, and they were ranked 6th in AP to start the season, and the championship's on the 6th, and they're going for their 6th championship. And, Blue Devils in Sumerian gematria is 666. That's the most simple cipher times 6. But anyway, all this stuff's connected. All of it's connected. The Colts have very similar colors to Duke, blue and white. So, all right, but yeah, there is definitely a deeper connection here, and it is because remember, Super Bowl 44 is where the Saints went over the Colts with all this stuff with Phillip Rivers now 44 playing for the Colts. There's still a missing piece here that needs to be understood. But this is what they do, you guys, and this is why we've hit so many futures, because we look at these puzzles. That's literally what the cabal lays down every day, puzzles. And a dumbass will look at this and be like, oh, these people are mentally ill. They're just trying to make connections. That's what a low IQ sounds like. And that's the problem with all these low IQs. They all sound the same way. They think Phillip Rivers showing up in Seattle after 6 rivers floods 6 days after his birthday is a coincidence, and you're the one with the mental problem for questioning it. That's what's wrong with this society. I realized that when I was 18 years old when the towers came down and didn't make any scientific sense. But yeah. Oh, snap. More people are hopping. All right, you guys got to go quick because I'm already late. I got to get my daughter, but I got to hear from Jared Bailey versus the world. What's up, Jared?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I'll be quick because I know you gotta get your baby. Every time I go back to weather warfare and there's a 201 connection, I always go back to Charles Mallory Hatfield. It's a good story.
The Rainmaker.
Yeah, they called him the Rainmaker, and the Rainmaker equals 201 as well.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, I mean, if that was 1913 or whatever, what he did to San Diego, I encourage people to look into it if you haven't heard of it.
Was that in San Diego? Because Phillip Rivers, that's where he used to play. Yes,
it was San Diego. They hired him to do it, and yes, it's an important story. I won't go into it.
Well, that's important because this whole and we're seeing how Rivers retired on the 201st day of the nation's age. So God, it's crazy. Okay, that's a great. Oh, look at that! Hired first in 1915. It's NFL Week 15.
And it was not his first time doing it either. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to get you sidetracked. You got to get your baby. So have a good night.
No, I'll take a few more minutes. She's going to have to wait.
Oh, okay. Well, all I say is that was the early 1900s. If people don't realize that weather is not manipulated or can be manipulated, they are so far behind, and they need to look up every once in a while. But I'll be done.
Yeah, that's a perfect addition right there because it's just making it make even more sense.
All right. Best of luck to you and your little one.
All right. Thanks, Jared. Good to hear from you, man.
Later.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers played the majority of his career in San Diego, where the Rainmaker did it for the first time in 1915. It's NFL Week 15, you guys. NFL Week 15. All right. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, Zach. What's going on? I'm going to be really quick. Seattle Seahawks were established June 4th, 1974. From that recent day to the to 12-14, the game that Rivers plays the Seahawks, it will be 193 days. That's the 44th prime. And also the day that they were established, it was the 155th day. Rivers has an 11-5 regular season record. There's 4 games left in the year. It's possible he can become 15-5. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. All right.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. He's always looking for the huge money payout. He just ignores the obvious thing every time. Matthew, he's funny. But anyway, what's up, Rich?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry about that earlier. I don't know what happened. My internet just cut out or whatever, so I just got back on right now. But
All right, I gotta be quick because I gotta wrap it up here in a second and go get a sweet girl. But
no, I just wanted to say, hey, thank you for all the work. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, all the retards out there need to pull their heads out of their asses. Again, it's pretty obvious that they're controlling and manipulating the weather. They've been doing it for years, decades. So,
yeah.
all right, appreciate it, Zach. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is it's magnificent, man, how they do this. And it is depressing that in 2018, the first time I live stream, and pretty much every time I stream, we had at least 2,000 people on the stream. This work's only gotten a million times better since then. And here we are with 200 people watching. What a joke. Thanks again, Leopard Messiah. Appreciate it, man. All right. I do got to go get sweet girl. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And I don't know. I might just move everything over to Patreon. I'm actually thinking about it. What's the point of doing this work for free anymore? It's too good for free. There's too little support, and I don't see anyone sharing, leaving comments. I don't see anything positive going on out here. I might just move everything to Patreon. What's the point when the work's as dead as it is on YouTube? You guys let me know if you're opposed to that, because I don't know. At this point, maybe that is the right move. It might be the right move. All right, guys. Till next time.